You've tried cutting carbs, hitting the gym, maybe even fasting, but the scale won't budge. Sound familiar? Losing weight after 40 feels impossible, but it's not your fault. Your body has changed, and the old tricks don't work anymore. But here's the good news. You can still burn fat, build muscle, and feel better than ever. You just need the right strategy. Stick with me, because over the next few minutes, I'll help you turn things around really fast. So first, let's talk about what's actually going on in your body after your 30s and into your 40s. 1, your metabolism is slowing down. You're losing muscle at a faster pace. You have massive hormonal changes that impact how your body responds to working out. And if you're like me, in your 40s, you're a family man. You've been focusing on your career and your kids and your wife. You let go of working on yourself or working out. And to top it off, number 5, you have poor sleep. You're not sleeping enough. You're not letting your body recover. I know I still have that problem. And I'm not here saying that I know everything and that I have all the answers. But one thing that I do know is in your 40s, it's hard to lose weight, and I want to try to help. So let's talk about the common mistakes that men make in their 40s when they're trying to lose weight. So number 1 is going to be cardio. This is an imperative thing to keep doing. However, this activity does not build muscle. It actually burns muscle more than it adds muscle. So your legs will get defined, you'll start to look lean, but your body mass won't feel full. So you will see a result in some areas, but not in all of the areas that you probably want to see. Number 2, stop starving yourself. Extreme calorie cuts aren't going to help you because your body needs the nourishment and the energy to continue on. Because remember what we talked about earlier, stress and poor sleep. If you have stress, poor sleep, and you're cutting calories, you have 0 energy. So that eliminates your ability to actually do anything in the gym and outside of the gym. So you're kind of killing too many birds with one stone. Number 3, this is actually the biggest one for me and the hardest struggle that I've had to learn to overcome. It's not the weight on the scale that's important, because your weight can fluctuate so much. Now, weight does play a factor, but one thing that you want to do is when you're getting started, you want to focus on making sure that you're doing the right steps in the process. Eventually, the weight will fluctuate. However, what you need to be paying attention to more is how your body looks. And I can show you an example of that here. Don't let the number mess with your head. It still messes with mine. Number 4, do not ignore strength training. Muscle is your secret weapon. The more muscle you have, the faster your metabolism. And this is actually something that I'm learning right now. The more muscle I put on, the faster my metabolism is. And also, I'm not gaining weight as far as fat goes, I'm gaining muscle. And with that, it's actually a really cool transformation because my waist is staying small, but my muscles are getting bigger. I'm 10 pounds heavier than I was at my leanest weight, which is really cool because I'm still at the belt loop or belt buckle that I was when I was 155 and I'm 165 right now. Make sure that you're putting on muscle, so don't ignore strength training. Now, number 5 is something that I still struggle with. I don't necessarily have a lot of stress, but what I do have is lack of sleep. And paired with stress and sleep is poor recovery and the inability to put in the effort at the gym that you need because you're tired. And so with that, you need to get rid of the habits of poor sleep, which is something that I'm still working on. And it would be best if you learn how to manage your stress a little bit better. For me personally, I don't have a lot of stress, but from time to time I do get stressed out. So we need to talk about eating more protein and nutrient-dense foods. Protein helps preserve your muscles and keep you full. So I would recommend that you would eat like 1 gram per body weight pound, or 1 gram per pound of your own body weight. I guess that's a little bit better said. So chicken, steak, eggs, ground beef. I eat a lot of ground chicken actually, because it's just easier to cook up and make sure that it's cooked all the way perfectly every time. And I kind of like eating makeshift tacos. So 1 gram per pound of your body weight each day. That would be a good place to start. The next step is going to be managing your stress and your sleep. So now I'm going to refer to a study real quick, and I don't know where it came from, but I heard somewhere that men need about 7 hours of sleep, and sometimes even less. So 6 to 7 hours of sleep each night. That will give you a good position of recovery. Some people need 8, and you need to figure out what you need. I operate roughly on about 6 hours of sleep typically. There are some times where I go for a little bit more sleep, but on average, I do about 6 hours. Now, I heard a study said that women need 10 to 12 hours of sleep. Now, I don't know where that comes from, and I don't know what scientific journal said that, but I thought that was pretty interesting and just a little bit of an anecdote. So I'm gonna blow through these next 2 points. Number 1, don't obsess about the scale. Obsess about how you look, how your clothes fit, and how you feel. Track your progress with pictures. This is something that I do with my coach on a weekly basis. Every Saturday, I wake up, I use the restroom, and then I weigh myself and take pictures. I send them over to my coach, and I keep track of my progress. And what has been awesome about this process is I get to see my body changing over the course of the weeks. Now, where I started back in May of 2024 and where I am now are 2 completely different places. I went from 186 pounds down to 154 pounds, and now I'm going back up because my coach is focusing on building muscle in my body. So don't focus on the scale. Focus on how you feel, how your clothes fit, and how you're looking on camera, so that way you can see the differences that your body's making, or you can see the changes that your body is making. Now, this next part is extremely crucial. You have to stay consistent. If you're not consistent in your working out, you're not going to see the results that you want. Now, I have been known to say that it is the execution of the rep that is most important. The weight has nothing to do with it. So if you're consistently making body weight motions, and that's the type of working out that you're doing pull-ups, you're doing push-ups, and you're consistently hitting those every single day that you can, I would suggest at least 4 times a week. That's when I make it to the gym. So I'm doing strength training and cardio. Now, here's the thing. Earlier I said, don't do hours and hours of cardio. You have to do cardio within the confines of what you're trying to accomplish. So when you're strength training, you want to keep your cardio low so that way your muscle isn't basically dissolved because you're doing too much cardio. Because when you're doing too much cardio, you're going to burn through your muscle and your fat. So what you want to do is make sure that when you're building muscle, bulking, you're keeping your cardio to a minimum. You're not doing any kind of long distance running or HIIT training. We can go into that a little bit more later. in another video. But the thing is that you want to be consistent. So right now, I'm in the gym 4 days a week lifting weights. I'm doing 30 minutes of cardio, but it's low impact, it's walking. So it's not long and it's not incredibly intense. But the thing is that you have to be consistent. So pick your days of the week that you can make it to the gym. 4 days a week is a good place to start. If you're doing body weight training, then do it every day. Pick your poison. But what you want to do is once you start, you need to be consistent. So if you guys have any questions and you guys are interested in how I do things, hit me up, comment below. I appreciate you sticking around and watching this video. Again, I'm just a dad in his 40s trying to get in shape, and I was tired of being fat. So if you want to join in on changing your physique in your 40s, come along on the journey with me. I'm here to help, and I'll see you on the next video.